Victimizing the real victim. That's what I decided to call this here live stream that I'm up here doing right now, as you're seeing. Well, maybe nobody's seeing yet because I ain't got nobody in here yet, but that's fine. I gave it the name that I gave it because that's what I want to talk about a little bit. I want to talk about how our society loves to victimize the victim. Okay? Whether it's the victim of a bully in school growing up, or if it's the victim of somebody on the job site that's being bullied and pushed and thrown under the bus, or whether it's in the dating scene, or if it's the people of this country, or the people around the world. Governments, mind control, because that's really what government is. It's nothing but mind control. But we have a society that's filled full of people who get off on, well, being the victim, people's mentalities. People have lost their minds. Okay? But the problem is the majority of so-called victims aren't even victims. They're actually the perpetrators, the villains, the ones behind victimizing somebody else. So the real victim is the victim of a bully, the victim of tyranny through the justice system, the victim through government corruption, the victim when you're lied to your whole life by your school system, your media, your books and your magazines. You grow up, you get of age, and you're almost right at that age, going to be turning 18, and some damn recruiter comes in your high school and promises you a career and all this other stuff and coerces you into joining the military and tells you that you're going to learn to grow up, become a man or become a woman, and they send you into brainwashing camp and you sign your life over to these criminals, and then they send you off to do their dirty deeds, to steal and kill for them, and you don't even know you are. They'll lie to you and tell you you're defending your country. When you're not defending your country, you're defending criminals, and you're carrying out criminal acts, and you're becoming a terrorist, and you don't even know you are. Really, is what's happening to you is you become a victim of our society, a victim of the lies and the programming that's been put in everybody's face. So, you got out of high school, you went into the military because you were lied to, and you were lied to while you were growing up as a child. You went over there, you went overseas, wherever, and you pointed your gun and you shot and killed innocent people, and you victimized them because you fell for the lies. And you're a victim of your own society. You're a victim of your government. You're a victim of your school system. You're a victim of your television set and everything around you. And you don't realize you are. This is the majority of the people in our society that this crap happens to. And the sad thing is most people don't want to look at the truth. They don't want to see what's really going on around them. Or they become scared of it. Or they become scared that they got to fit in. That's right. You got to fit in with somebody else. I mean, everybody around you acts this way, so it must be okay to act this way, even if it's totally wrong and it's corrupt. Why do you think we have a society filled full of double standards amongst the genders and amongst other things in societies, in your society, whether it's on the job, whether it's in the dating arena? We have double standards all around us. And people say, what's a double standards? And they just think it is normal, but it's not normal. And it's corruption. And when you accept a double standard as that's just the way it is, that means you've bent over and folded over to corruption. And I don't accept double standards. I don't play into the favoritism or the double standards on anything. I buck the system, and I deliberately buck the system because that's bucking the programming. It's denying the brainwashing, which, of course, the people at the top don't like it when people do that. And this is what our military needs to learn. But the majority of them are right out of high school when they join the military. They're young, they're naive to real life. The only thing they know is what they've been taught in their school system and from their television and what books they've read. The majority of it, which has been propaganda, lies, not non truth. And so this goes on everywhere. That's right, social conditioning, social engineering, which means in reality, you're the victim. You're not actually a victim, you're a victim of the propaganda, the social engineering. You're a victim of your society. Your mind control people, your governments. So when you look at your government, you think you're looking at the chief and commander of your country, you're looking at a puppet. He's not a chief and he's not a commander of the country, and it doesn't matter who's in the office. They're nothing more than a puppet following the orders from their boss. Mark Passio said it best: order followers. Order followers. And the other big problem we have, of course, is the tool, the monetary system, money. Because our society and our world's been set up on money, and this is what everybody's working for, and without it, you can't get food. Without it, you can't get your electric, your lights. You can't get your gas bill or your heat in the winter if you're in a cold climate. Without it, you can't buy a home, you can't buy a car, you can't do anything. You have to count on it to live. That's right, it's a debit currency. The currency was set up from the very beginning to cause and put people in debt. This person that's in the chat right here, I appreciate the comments he's given because he's straight across the board. He's telling people the truth. So if anybody was reading the comments, I'd tell them, listen to what this man's telling them, because he's speaking the truth. That is exactly what the currency was set up to do, is to enslave us. And the problem I see when I'm looking around me is even here on YouTube or anywhere else, we have a lot of people up here, like High Impact Flicks. This man tells lots of truths. Lots of truths. It's got mega subs. But unfortunately, as sad as it is to say, I wouldn't put my trust totally in this guy because I do believe this guy's probably planted, put there, delivered. Because he's spoken too many truths, and I've seen too many people that are speaking real truth get taken down off of YouTube to shut us up. I've watched this happen many times. I'd like to think guys like High Impact Flicks is real, means what he says, but there's always a question mark in it. His videos, the majority of them are professionally laid out, okay? And even though he tells a lot of truths, Alex Jones is CIA, corrupt from the very get-go, was always corrupt. He told lots of truths too, along with telling lots of lies, lots of BS. And this is the problem I have, is when we look around us for the real people that are speaking out, we have frauds, we have fakes, we have people that are here for nothing but the monetary system. We have people that are here for fake fame. Their egos swell up, their egos run high, and they let their ego control them. And I've never really been somebody that's controlled by my ego. Matter of fact, my ego's really low. I mean, low, 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 low. I almost right next to not having an ego at all. People say that's not possible. You're human. Yes, it is possible when you have care. When you actually care about what's right and what's wrong and you care about other people. I've spent my life caring about other people from the time I was young. I go out of my way to help people just because I want to help them. My payment's been the smile on my face. How I feel inside after I've helped somebody that really needed it. It was never about monetary system. When I come up and I speak out here, you see so many people who think they have have to have something for their time. The time it took them to do a video, their time to create this video. I've never, ever, ever done that. Never. And I won't. Because that's me. That's who I am. And so, yeah, my ego is like right next to no ego at all. But we have a lot of people out here who have high egos. Their heads are swollen. They flate up. If they get a video that went viral, their head will swell up and they'll think there's something they're not. Or they'll forget the old rule of life. Maybe they have a lot of knowledge in an area, history, or they have a lot of knowledge in NWO, or they have a lot of knowledge in the dating scene, or they have a lot of knowledge in a certain skill, a trade skill. There's many routes this can go. But the problem is when you look around you, you see people with knowledge in one area that they know a lot about that maybe you don't know very much about, right? But they don't have a lot of knowledge in a lot of other areas. You might possess a lot of knowledge in an area they don't. And this is normal in life that people will have knowledge or be really good at certain things and not good at other things. But unfortunately, in today's society, people like to let this knowledge go to their head in the area that they have knowledge in, and they let their ego swell up and their ego run wild and their ego takes them over and they're ego driven. They become ego driven. And then they start looking down on other people. Then their mindset becomes no better than the elite. And it's a laugh when I see this happening because you got people up here speaking out against the powers to be, which I've been doing for years and what's going on in our society. But because they have knowledge in one area and they let their head swell up because they had a video on fire or what have you, because they're running on ego, they're running on ego, they actually convince themselves that they're smarter than the majority of the people around them or that they're speaking to. And a lot of times they won't own up to it, they won't say it to your face, they'll deny it, but actions speak louder than words. All you got to do is watch somebody's actions that's ego driven and they will tell on themselves. You will see it through their own behavior and their own actions. And a lot of times they're too naive to understand that. And so, and that's just, there's a lot of features I could use on this live stream through the OBS studio that would allow me to put myself inside a TV set, that would allow me to do this, that would allow me to do that. And I've played around with it, look at it, and it's just not me. I'm not going to put myself in a TV set so that when you come up and watch me on a live stream, that I have this fancy news studio background and a TV set floating there and I'm in the TV. To me, that's ego driven. I don't need to look like I'm on a TV set. The TV set's been used for years as a weapon against us. Most people think it's their entertainment, but their entertainment box has been a successful tool for brainwashing. And because I'm not ego driven, I just refuse to do that. I'm not going to, I mean, I've toyed with it to see what all this studio does. And I realized, dang, I could put this nice fancy background in here. I could put this TV set in there and I could put myself in that TV set and I could do a live stream and you could all see me that way. But I refuse to. And as you see, I'm not doing that. You don't see a fancy studio for my background. You see where I'm at. You see where I live. Okay. I just refuse to do that because what that spells is you're ego driven. And I don't want to be ego driven, but then I've never been ego driven my entire life. And it probably comes with being said the nice guy. The guy that comes in last in the dating arena. I'm that nice guy. I haven't necessarily come in always last, but I'll tell you what, and I have lived TFL and you know, I was single and alone corrupt at the time I was 28 years old. Then I had a spell where I was alone again for quite a while after The first person I was ever with that I was with for years was no longer in my life that I had my child from. Okay? I know what it's like for guys that live in TFL, and it's only getting worse. But one of my things, I guess, my pet peeves is I've always cared about everybody, and that's why I do what I do. Okay? And one of the things I think that frustrates me some of the most is because I care about what's right and I care about what's wrong, is when I watch other people victimizing other people and then playing the victim role to their own evil actions. And this is what we see going on all across the board. You see this from people that are so called truthers speaking out, throwing other truthers under the bus. You see this in the dating arena. You see this on the job site. You see this in your everyday life. If you got on a job site and there's a position available, you'd be surprised how many people are going to throw you under the bus to get that position for themselves. They'll walk all over the top of you. They don't care what they do to you. They have no inklings. They don't care. And this is the society we live in. Yes, and I agree with that. The dating arena is brainwashing. Now, that's correct. I mean, this guy here, I appreciate what he's saying because he's correct. He's really awake to what's going on and he's totally correct. And that's one of the things that stuns me sometimes too, how somebody can call themselves awake and they can be up here speaking out against the corruption or speaking out against false flags or speaking out against the powers to be, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call them. I don't care what name you call them. You could call them the banksters. You could call them, the Illuminati. You can call them whatever you want. I don't really care. Because when I just say, I'm just going to say the powers to be that we've allowed to be, because that's really what it is. We, the people, have allowed this to happen. But unfortunately, we, the people, the majority of us are all brainwashed, thanks to social engineering, thanks to your school system and your television set, and on and on and on. So, what do you do? How do you handle this? For me, I get frustrated when I see people running by their ego, or people who have to have the monetary system to do anything for somebody else because it's my time and I refuse to help somebody else because I ain't getting paid for it. To me, that's BS. That's evil, okay? That shows you have no actual real care. I can understand that you have to have monetary system to make a living. I can understand that, but there's a point of no return called greed. And greed don't have no end, no different than power has no end. You know what it is? It's society. It's all on the whole. It's society. It's social conditioning. It's mind control. It's enslavement. You people are going to work and working long days, enslaving yourself to the people that are sitting at the top, not doing a damn thing but taking your money. And have you ever noticed in a company, if you're working for any kind of major company, the people in positions do less work than anybody else and take all the credit? Go into a manufacturing industry for once. You get up there in a position in a manufacturing company and, the GM, the manager of this, okay? And then they have several bosses down, right? And the more you move up, the more money you make and the less work you do. And you get to take the credit for everybody else's work. Yep. You get the praises, you get the promotions, you get that a boy, good job when you didn't do a damn thing, you didn't lift a finger. The only thing you lifted was your damn lips to shoot your orders of somebody else. And this kind of stuff frustrates me too. I did maintenance for years, and I had a situation on a job where the guy that was my boss got jealous of me. No lie. And he got jealous of me and he became worried. He became worried because he recognized my skills and he realized I was every bit as skilled as him. He realized I had a few skills he didn't have. He also had a few I didn't have. So actually, working together would have been a plus because we could have helped each other. But instead, he became jealous. He became jealous that he might lose his job to me. And I never wanted the guy's job, but this is how jealousy works. So he tries to set me up. And I got to do as he says because he's my boss, right? So, he climbs inside this bathtub in this motel and he takes his hand and he goes, "We need to take these faucets out of the wall so that we have a spare set for around the motel because these faucets in this building they don't make them no more. So we need to have some parts and so we can repair other faucets. So we're going to take a couple of these play faucets out of this room and this room that are no longer used for rental so that we have a couple of spare sets." And he climbs in this old shot tub and he takes a marker and he marks all the way around the faucets and he says, "I would cut the tub open right here to get to the faucets to remove them." And I'm thinking to myself, why wouldn't you step on the other side of the wall and just cut a hole in the drywall and patch the drywall? And but he don't say, he says, "No, I will cut this right here. So on my 2 days off, I want you to cut this tub up right here and pull these faucets." And I'm just scratching my head. Why is he cutting the tub? I understand the tub shot. It's a surround tub, big plastic surround with the walls going up. I understand it's shot. It looks like crap. You could never use it anywhere. So fine, okay. But I also knew that the motel needed somewhere that they could spray down the filters out of the AC units, especially on a rainy day where you couldn't go outside. So, and they never did, and didn't have any sink like you would have in most places where the garden hose off a spigot with spraying on the end, and you had to go outside to do it. So I cut the faucets out for him, and I wived this idea. But I knew he was jealous of me, so I suspected he was going to try to use it against me. So I had already formed an idea of what I was going to do. But I didn't do it right away. I waited till he came back to work. I wanted to see what he was going to say to me. He came back after his days off, and the faucets were out, and he says, "Why did you cut the tub?" I knew it, and that's just my gut was telling me this is what he was going to do. He says, "You should have cut the wall on the other side." No, he's the one that climbed in the tub himself and took his marker and went around and drew where I was supposed to cut. Now he comes back in 2 days later and says the opposite. So I already knew he was jealous of me, so I thought, yep, you're wanting to set me up to make it look like I screwed up so that you could have something against me. So I went out and I got a piece of wood and I went out and got two spigots and I went out and got this Y hose that had an end on it, two hoses, and I laid all this stuff on the bench and he looked at this, "What's this?" And I says, "I'm going to put this where that hole is in the tub and I'm going to put these two spigots in and hook it back up. And I'm going to put this hook right here and I'm going to put this garden hose on the end of this. And you're going to have hot and cold running water. And you're going to have a spray hose. And now you got somewhere you can spray out the filters on a rainy day, on bad weather days." And he says, "Well, that's a damn good idea. I never thought of that." And then he was getting ready to take off for his 2 days off. I brought him in the day before his 2 days off again a week later after he'd said that to me. He says, "Well, leave the stuff on the table and I'll do that first thing when I come back in." Oh, no, that wasn't happening. While he had his 2 days off, I went ahead and did my project. And I put that damn thing together. He didn't talk to me for almost a week after that. I guess I took his weapon away from him. Okay? I guess I took his weapon away from him. But see, you know what he wanted to do, don't you? He wanted to use, because of his jealousy, that I cut the tub where he told me to and then deny he told me to, and then take my idea and say, "Look what I did," to credit himself. But I wasn't about to let him do that. He deliberately set me up, and I had a feeling he was. And if I hadn't did what he said, then he'd say I'm not following his orders. So he had me in a rock and a hard spot. So I followed his orders, and then I contrived a scheme to freaking do something they needed. And when it was all said and done, the only thing he could do was zip his mouth. He didn't talk to me for almost a week. I could tell he was pissed at me. And then about a month or so goes by, and then he finally starts talking to me. And then he gets talking, and I told him, well, I says, his name was Rick. I says, "Well, Rick, I know that you're jealous of me. No, 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 no. You know how the people deny that. And I says, I don't know why you'd ever think that I would try to take your job out from underneath you because I wouldn't do that. That's not who I am. And then he didn't say much about it after that, but he suddenly lost his jealousy and he started treating me the way he used to always treat me, and his jealousy went away. See, do you see how that sort of works? But see, this is taking somebody else's idea from them, running with it, doing it, and taking credit for yourself and the kudos for yourself and the raises for yourself, and stealing somebody else's idea out from underneath them. And I guess this is why we have to have patented inventions in our society, is to protect what we do, huh? From other low-minded people that would actually steal your idea and profit themselves. But see, this is once again, we go, what is it? We live in a dog eat dog world. We live in a world where nobody cares about nobody. And this is probably why I'll never be ego driven. I see all these features I can do with this OBS studio and all these pictures and all these things I could do. And I toy around with it and see how easy it is to do. And then I look at it and I say, no, that's not me. I don't want to use this crap. So where's it at? It's right there. It's not getting used. See, I'm up here doing this live stream, and my background is what you're used to seeing, and here I am. You don't see my face inside a TV set. You don't see a fancy studio behind me. I have put a background behind me before of a city or what have you. I've put the TFL logo or the Men Going Their Own Way logo up. I'll do simple little things like that if that's the topic I'm talking about. You can see that. But that's about as far as I would ever go. I'm not about to pull up one of these TVs. I'm not about to blah blah. Now I could show you videos and news reports and everything else on here while I'm doing this live stream. But I'm not doing that neither because I know YouTube over the years has taken my videos down and struck me for copyright violations. Hell, YouTube struck me for copyright violation on a talking head video like this live stream is. No lie. My very first video that was ever taken down, when they took it down for copyright violation, and it was only me in the video talking like I am right now. Okay, which was insanity. But I'll tell you what, I'm not going to show you videos, but hardly ever, because if they're going to hit me with a copyright, then they're going to have to copyright me for talking or giving my opinion, which isn't a copyright, so they can shove it up their yin yin yang, and you're going to see how criminal they are because they're going to tell them themselves anything. I've lost like 4 channels already. I really have. I've lost thousands of videos to YouTube. I had a lot of work for a long time, and wham, the channel's gone. It's like I got a limit on my subscribers. Most of the time, they don't let me have subscribers. I get 4 or 5 subscribers, they take 3 or 4 away. I get 4 or 5, they take 3 or 4 away again. And they keep doing this, so you watch my subscribers list go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Take years to build it up. But since I get right around 2,500 subscribers, they seem to take me out. It's happened like, what, 2, 3 times in a row. I get in around that amount of subscribers and it takes me a few years to get there because they keep taking them away from me. And then as soon as I get up that number, I mean, it was like my last channel was taken down. I had no violations. I had no strikes, no nothing. My channel was just gone. Just like my original channel. I didn't have no strikes. I didn't have nothing against me. And out of nowhere, my channel was suspended by YouTube. So I don't trust YouTube. How could I? Now YouTube is sitting here. Google is turning there trying to push their TV, which they said when they took over YouTube back years ago when I was here. Because when I first started making videos, Google did not own YouTube. Okay, and you could only do a 10-minute video. End of story. If you want anything over 10 minutes, it didn't go up. That took me a while to get used to. Talk for this long and shut up. And you know how many times I made a video and I ended up having to redo it to get to me 10 minutes? Because I don't script nothing. I don't sit here and write down what I'm going to say and then read it to you or look up my own notes. No, I don't take notes. I don't take notes. I don't script nothing. I just go on the fly. Okay, that's exactly what I do. I've always done that. That's how I am. But I also don't become ego driven. I've never been ego driven, but there's lots of people out here that are. And my problem with ego driven people is they get a tendency of letting their head swell up. And once their head starts swelling with their ego controls them, and then they begin to believe they're smarter than they really are. They'll act more intelligent than they really are. And then they will try to always put the blame onto somebody else because their ego says they couldn't make mistakes. They forgot they were a human. They make mistakes like everybody else. See, we all make mistakes. I've made my share of mistakes in my life. Steve Hoke has made his share of mistakes. And the people in this chat right now, you've all made your share of mistakes in your life. If you don't make mistakes, then you're not from the planet Earth and you're not a human being. The important thing is to learn how to not be embarrassed by a mistake and to learn from your mistake so that you don't continuously repeat your mistake. That's what's important, okay? But I just wanted to come up here a little bit because if you noticed, I'm going to give this live stream a name, okay? That's right. Victimizing the victim. Because I watch around me and I see the things there's lots of things that frustrate me, but victimizing the victim I thought was a good name because this is what our government does to us every single day. They victimize the people in this country on a regular basis. Okay? And thanks to social engineering and them victimizing us and turning us all into their victims, then they punish us. And then people out here are doing wrong onto somebody else that they wouldn't want done onto them, creating a victim, and then they're turning around and blaming what they done to that person on the person they done it to and trying to play the victim role. So they're wanting both sides of the string. They're wanting to be the villain and the victim all at once and leave the other guy's shit on. So, unless the illusion is over, back to this holiday. Marky later, Bill. Okay, well, whatever. He's going to his holiday. If he illusion needs to go, he can go. I mean, I like the guy. The guy seems to be honest, and this other guy that's in here, yeah, I like that. He's been really good. He's got knowledge. I've seen that just by his comments, and I appreciate people like that because these are people that are awake that clearly understand what I'm talking about. They see both sides. They know where this crap comes from. My question is how do we turn this around? I think we're too late. That's my own personal opinion. I don't see turning this around. Short of bombs falling and lots of people dying. And I don't like that neither. So, what's the real solution here? How do we turn this around? I just don't see it. I don't see it being possible. Because we got people in here that thinks everything's a game. Yeah, he said it best. We are too deep in the game. You said it best. People think this shit's a game. I get people coming to my live streams. They're only here for the entertainment. It stands out. I see it. They're only here for the entertainment. They don't care about NWO. They don't care about the corruption of society. They don't care about the dating scene. They like to come here and just the entertainment or listen to somebody else speak out, and then they'll be sarcastic and blah, 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 and they'll say shit that's off the wall because it's entertainment to them. But it's not going to be entertainment to them when they realize all that's going on is history's replaying itself. We're in the middle of these illegal wars, and if you think that we in America are going to be safe from this killing of us, you've lost your minds. History replays itself over and over because we, the people, are lied to and scammed, and you don't see it. You don't want to believe that your own mind control country called the government wouldn't freaking do it to you. This is the mindset that Nazis had over in Germany. This is the mindset World War One had. It's the mindset we've always had. That it wouldn't happen in our country. We're too good for that. Meanwhile, it's happening in your country right under your nose. And the day's gonna come when bombs and shit starts happening in this country and you find foreign troops on your streets and guns being pointed at you. The day's gonna come where what's happening overseas will be happening here in America. And then you people who think this is all entertainment, you're going to be caught right in the middle of it. And then you're not going to think it's entertainment no more. Then you're going to want to get serious when it's too late. When you've already lost, when it's too late. Isn't this the way it always seems to work out? Yeah. This is the way it always seems to work out. You're going to have foreign troops on your streets, bombs dropping on your cities, and your own people dying all around you before you'll get it. Before it won't be entertainment or a game to you no more. And by then you've already lost. And if you can't stand up for somebody else that's being wronged, then don't expect somebody else to stand up for you when you're being wronged. If you want somebody else to stand up for you when you're being wronged, then you have to care enough to stand up for them when they're being wronged. Yeah, I agree with that again. See, this guy's good. I like it. Okay. I really do. I think they spread a disease to kill us all. Yeah. It's called brainwashing and ignorance and dumbness. And I mean, what can I say? I mean, it is it's like a disease, that's for sure. I mean, how could we be the doctor that takes out that disease? How could we be the garbage man to round up the garbage and take them out? But even if we could, you'd almost have to be able to get your hands on mainstream media. And that ain't going to happen. Because that'd be about the only way you're going to be able to change things around. Is you'd have to take over Hollywood and take over all mainstream media. So that you had control of it. And then it would still probably take, what, 2, 3 generations before we would start to see a change? That's just starting to see a change. It'd take another 4 or 5 generations before it would be totally in effect. That's sort of the way I see it. But because we're not going to get our hands on mainstream media, this is why years ago I advocated for smashing TV sets. I really did. I told everybody I'd like to go door to door to everybody's house around this country and take their TV sets away from them and throw them in the landfill. For real. I made some people angry when I said that. I had one person say, well, you mean a gun, you ain't touching my TV. I'll have a gun, I'll stop you. You ain't touching my TV. They were that serious about you ain't touching my TV. Okay? And it shows the mentality. They don't realize that TV set that they're calling entertainment is a direct tool of brainwashing and programming. It amazes me how we can sit back and we can allow Hollywood to put all these sitcoms and commercials and movies out here on a Lifetime channel, which you might as well call the male bashing channel, and we can put all this shit out here dumping all over men over and over and over again. But yet men ain't fired up in this country and mad about it. But I'll tell you what, If we turned that stuff around and we were shaming the women and putting the women down and female bashing, there'd be an outcry. If we turned that around for 1 week on media, there'd be women out on the streets rioting. They'd be so angry over it. But yet it happens every day in their face to men, and they're just laughing about it and smirking about it or calling it normal. And there's so many men out here that are so pussyfied, and I hate to say that, that, oh, well, this is just normal. There's nothing wrong with it. It's insanity. It really is. It's insanity. That's why I stopped watching TV long ago. And I still can't get away from it because if I watch a movie, what do I see? And then my wife, she turns on TV, and I don't watch TV. It's then she watching these shows that she watches, and it'll be right there, man. It's like she's blitzified to it because it's what she grew up on, so she calls it normal. I haven't watched TV in probably 12 years, maybe 13 years, maybe even a little longer. Matter of fact, it's been so long, I can't even remember how many years it's been. I literally stopped watching TV years ago, and I do not watch TV. And that's just the way it is. I don't watch TV. Some of these people, you noticed I got this old purple on my forehead. Well, I've had a boil up there, been trying to get rid of it. Every time I pop the damn thing open, it just, I squeezed the hell out of it, and it just keeps coming back. I took an X-Acto knife out yesterday. I was so mad at it. I was gonna lance the sucker myself. I really don't want to go to the doctor and say here because they're just gonna take an X-Acto knife and lance it open. You're still gonna have the wound on your head, so I'm trying my best to get rid of it. And it's one of these stubborn ones that's gonna take a while to get rid of. So I got my hat on, but to people asking me, I've had comments about it. What's that on your forehead? Something I don't like and don't want. How's that? Wash and wash and wash, and that bitch will stay there. Pop it open and squeeze it and squeeze it and squeeze it. Do it every day. And then just when I'm thinking it's going away, it's not. It's still there. I took an X-Acto knife to it yesterday, by the way. I sure did. I took an X-Acto knife and popped that bitch open yesterday. So I'll be another couple of days probably before it heals enough to go away. Hopefully it'll go away this time now I've taken a knife to it. So, life. But I'm not afraid to do that to myself when I see something I don't like. I think we all have glitches like that. I think it's human nature. But back on topic here, how many people out here think that TFLers and incel and men's right activists and stuff that we should have somewhere in every community that men can go that are going through this problem in our society thanks to social engineering, where they can talk to one another, meet each other, and maybe be able to make a friend that they could hang out with and go do things with. I think that would be a great idea personally. And if you're on board with that, you got any ideas of how we could form something like that? Get something started like that for people? Because I think men deserve it. I really do. I think we need to have it, and I think men deserve it. That's, just, I think it's a good idea, and I think that we need to have it. But I'd like to see people come up with an idea. How could we do this? Really, I would like to see that. Because I think if we had a community, somewhere in every community, every city around this country, even around the world, where men that are like minded could go, that are, because you know how corrupt our dating scene, how corrupt the dating scene is, how corrupt it is for the genders, to how bad they've divided us. A man gets a woman in his life and he's run over, he's shit on, and she's using the court system. Of course, it's not all women. When I have to repeat that again and say it's not all women, because women like to think when you say women, you're talking about all of them. Okay, but I will say this. I don't see any women, and now this is to all women, okay? I am going to send a message to every last woman out here. I don't see any women making an outcry about the male bashing in our media, the male bashing in Hollywood, okay, in our movies and sitcoms. And you women all know this. If you was being shamed and put down, I gotta silence that. That's the way it always goes. She'll just have to wait. So that message is to all women because I don't see any women, you know, crying out about that. And I think that women should speak up about that because if we spent 1 week with commercials and sitcoms and movies that shamed the woman and put the woman down, we would have an outcry in this country. Guaranteed we would. These women wouldn't put up with it. And why they're not speaking against it when it's happening to the men? More brainwashing is all I can say. Okay, so I see Rebel Angel here saying hi to me. I seen a comment this morning, okay, claiming that they just happen to be a certain person. And if they are that person, they should be able to tell me their name and where, Okay, they say they're Billy. I'm sorry if I don't trust that you are Billy. I have troubles with that, and it's not that you aren't. If you are, I'd love to talk to you. So I left an email in the comment, okay? And I will check my email this afternoon. If you look at that comment, you send an email with your phone number, and I'll give you a ring. But I'm not going to pass out my phone number, but to the real Billy, okay? And because you say you're Billy in this chat and you're running under Rebel, okay, don't mean you are. Oh my God, well, at least we got the state right, so there's a good chance it is Billy. And I would love the hell out of talking to you. I sent you an email, if this is you, Billy. Okay, Space Devil 13. Oh, that would be that. Space Devil, yep. If this is you, you definitely answer that email. Send me a number and I'll call you, and then you'll have my number. How's that? So, it would be Space Devil. And I know Billy. I mean, I would love to talk to Billy again if this is Billy. Okay? I don't want to say it isn't. Now, there you go, by golly. Hey, I recognize that name now. We're getting somewhere. Okay? But I'm still going to say the same thing to you because you know as well as I do of your Billy, the trolls here online are, what can I say? And people wanting to pretend to be somebody they're not. Okay? And I'm just not going to pass my number out to somebody who's not that person. And they're laughing because, oh, I got you, you sucker. So I just gave you my main email. It's in the comment you left earlier for me. So if you go to the video you left the comment, I think was my last live stream before this one, you'll see I left my email for you, okay? I want you to use that email. And I want you to send me your phone number. And I will call you. Then you will know it's me and I will know it's you and you'll have my phone number. How's that? I think that sounds fair. It's not that I don't trust this person, but I have to be that way. Because the internet is so corrupt. So many people out here lying their butts off and pretending to be somebody. We have this person running around pretending to be Steve Hoka, who's made himself an account of Steve Hoka and running around and even going on Steve's page saying, no, this is me. I am the real Steve Hoka. Okay, this is just nuts. But we have people doing this. Okay, and I wouldn't put it past Dwayne Holloway to do that crap neither. So, because Dwayne Holloway's turned into a really good troll. So, I have to be the way I am. Okay, so if it's you, Billy, I want to talk to you. That's for sure. Okay, I definitely love that. I mean, I got a number of yours in my phone, but it's probably maybe an old number that you don't even have no more. So I haven't caught it for that reason. Because if you lost that number and I called it, it ain't going to be you anyhow, right? It'll either be out of business or it'll be somebody else. That's the reason I said do the email thing. Yep, you go do that, okay? And then make sure you send me that email. I see Winston Wu, huh? Yep. Yeah, it's been a little while since I've talked to some of the people out here in Billy for sure. And, I still have contact with one regularly. But I would like to do something for TFLers and incel guys, and for men, period. I would like us to have spots in our cities where people can go. I really would. And the victimizing the victim, I would love to see people. When you see somebody doing wrong unto somebody else, you call that person out on their behavior. Don't let that person flip the script and say they done it to them. Don't let them play both sides because they are not both sides. Okay, it's as simple as that. I would like to see that happen. So I'm probably not going to stay up here in this live stream too much longer, but I'll stay here a little bit. Okay? Don't mind me any if I seem like I'm busy here. Okay, I'm going to get somebody off my back here, okay? Called my wife is on the job trying to get a hold of me in the middle of a live stream, and this is the way it normally always goes. If it'll let me load it up, okay, I will answer her. If it's not going to let me load it up, I really don't care one way or the other. I've attempted to, and it's playing games. So maybe I won't answer her after all. I'm attempting to answer her real quick. There we go. There we go. There we took care of that problem. Sorry, guys, I had to do that. She tried to call me and I didn't answer that, so then she comes at me and starts trying to text me. Now, you might have heard that doing. That would be her. So I told her I was in the middle of a live stream. I was going to answer right now. So anyhow, give me some ideas, guys. How do you think that we should go about trying to get something formed for men around the world, to where they have somewhere they can go and meet men that are struggling in the dating scene themselves, so that maybe you could meet each other, maybe you could make a friend, maybe you could have somebody to hang out with. I think it's needed. I really do. We've never had nothing like that, and I think it's needed. As far as the corruption in our society and social engineering and NWO and everything that's going on, I don't know how we're going to turn that around. We had another guy in the chat that's very awake, okay? And I don't like to say it, but it's almost to a point where you're literally going to have the military boot up your yin yang, and history is going to replay itself again because nobody wants to turn this around. It just means people got to step up to the plate and start looking for names and faces and going after the people behind this, the powers to be. Taking down their governments and locking criminals up, taking out the people that's running your puppet government and locking them up. That's really what has to happen. And I just don't see it happening. I really don't. Too many people are stuck in the game. They're stuck in everything's a competition. And people are flying around here running on their eagle, and this is one of the things that annoys me. And so I said, I don't run on my eagle. I mean, I could use this OBS program and I could put myself a professional background for you to look at, and I could put myself in a TV set and the whole 9 yards. And I'm just not going to do it because to me, that's ego driven. And I'm not ego driven. I never have been. I'm probably one of these people that just almost next to no ego at all. I'm loaded with care. I'm loaded with passion because I care, but I just don't have an ego. If I do, it's so low you don't notice it. Oh, I don't use Skype, Billy. If it's the real Billy, get yourself Zoom. Okay? It's free. You can use it. You don't got to have a paid account. I've got a paid account. I stopped using Skype a while back, Billy. It got 2 new world orders. She got freaking, it was bought out by Microsoft. What'd you expect? So I'm using Zoom. You'll find me on Zoom. Okay? And I definitely want to talk to you again. So I got a feeling we're looking at the real Billy here. So I'll tell you what, get yourself Zoom. It's free. You can use the email. Okay? You should be able to track down that email. I left it for you. If you don't see it, say something to me and I'll put the email in this chat for you. But I did leave an email for you this morning. So when I saw the comment, but yeah, but I'm not going to be here much longer and I'm going to jump off this live stream. But I haven't seen nobody type in here what they think about coming up with spots in every city. Figure out a way to get places where people could go, a meeting spot where incel, TFL, men's right activists, places men can go, hook up and meet each other, okay? So that they have somebody they can hang around that's like minded, that's going through the same crap that everybody else is going through without being shamed by a bunch of vaginas and white knights and called names and made fun of. You don't need to hang around simps, losers. People are so brainwashed and so desperate to put their what where that they will do anything to keep that woman's corruption going because that's all that's doing. It's keeping the corruption going. It's keeping the division going. Women need called out on their behavior just like men need called out on their behaviors. I mean, that's just the way it is. You've got to start calling these people out on their behaviors. If they tell you you're a woman hater because you're calling some female out on definite wrong behavior, that don't make you a woman hater. Because that means there's an awful lot of women out here that are men haters. Okay, as well as this male bashing society. That don't make you a male hater. I hate simps. I hate pussies and vaginas. I don't call them manginas. I just straight out took the man off it because there's nothing manly about their behavior. They're just straight out vaginas. That's what I call them. Simps, weaklings. One of the problems we have in society is they want to think they immediately start hurling shaming tactics at you for calling out a female on corruption, allowing the female to get by with corruption, and then wonder why this problem's getting worse, huh? It's really where that comes from. See, I may have a wife, but I don't put up with shit. There's days that she has her attitude going, she gets a bad attitude and she creates drama. And she starts creating that drama, and I rip into her. I shut her down. Then she goes quiet because she knows I don't put up with it. And I'm not going to put up with it. I don't treat her badly. I don't blah, blah, blah. And I don't order her around. She does anything she pretty much wants to do because I don't stop her. I let her be her own self and do as she wants to do, as it should be. But I also don't bend over to her every command. Don't happen that way. Okay, I'm not a simp. I'm not an vagina. I get frustrated with my own family. I got a family member that's, unfortunately, it's just a disgrace to most men. And he don't even know he's a disgrace to most men. Cool. I'll be off this here live stream in about 5 minutes and I'll check my email. Okay? So you're aware of that. Got a phone number in there for you? That's cool. I'll give you a ring and we'll talk. I'd love that. But guys, give some thoughts to how we could possibly put something together around this country and around the world for spots for men to go to meet each other that are living through this so that they can talk to like minded people and not a simp. And if some guy tells you you're a woman hater because you speak up against a woman, call him what he is, a pussy. Okay? Just call him what he is because that don't make you a woman hater. If that was the case, then our world is filled full of man haters. And we already know that we have man hating going on, don't we? All you gotta do is watch the Lifetime channel, the male bashing channel. All you gotta do is watch your sitcoms and your commercials and pay attention, and you realize we're in a male bashing society. It'll slap you in the face. I think if we had 2 weeks of all the crap that they throw at us for male shaming tactics in the movies and sitcoms and commercials, putting us down. I think if we had 2 weeks of everything being flipped around and female being put down, you'd see a gigantic outcry because the women wouldn't like it. And that's the only thing I call all women out on because I don't see any women standing up saying this is wrong. Why are you putting these commercials together this way? Why are you making these sitcoms? Why does Lifetime Channel dedicate itself to putting the man down? That's all I got to say about that. But, that's why I give the name of this live stream, Victimizing the Victim. Because that is what our government does to its people. That is what you see happen on a job site all the time. It's what you see right here online on a regular basis. But with that being said, guys, I'm going to get off this live stream and I'm going to go check my email. Okay? Because there's somebody in this chat that I think is the guy I'd like to talk to. Okay? So, you all have a good one. I'm getting on out of here for today, dear.